Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting day here at Virtual Bethune. This is Mrs. Patterson
and Miss Felix
saying hello, guys. We hope you all are doing well, and let's jump right in. So yesterday when we talked, we broke down what a character was, what a character trait is, what are their motivations, and how can we support those with different details from either the text or from the play, or as we saw yesterday, from the cartoon. We took a deep dive in yesterday looking at two aliens from outer space who were trying to get back home. One of the aliens looked very confident. That was one of the words that we could have used as a trait. While the other one, our main alien, Edmund, he looked a little bit fearful. So he filled out the graphic organizer that you see before you on your screen, showing that Edmund was fearful. That was what we listed as a character trait, a unique way to describe that character. We then went and looked for details from the cartoons to prove what his thoughts, feelings, words, and actions showed about Edmund. We listed that Edmund thought that the dog was a monster. We saw that from the different thought bubbles that were on the page. We then saw from his actual character that he was biting his fingernails, and that was something else that proved to us that Edmund was fearful. As we continued to look at the picture, we saw that Edmund was physically hiding behind a tree. So that proved to us that he also was afraid. We're going to use the same information of what a character is, what a trait is, as well as motivation, to look at a new story today called The Treasure. The Treasure is a story written by Mabel Astor, and if we take a look at the illustration over here, we can tell that we're going to be searching for some sort of treasure map or following a treasure map. I would like for you all to take the time to read independently, but don't worry. I'm also going to read along with you in a short while, okay? So if you guys could take the time to read independently or with your parents, go through and place a check mark above any of the confusing words or phrases that you read. And make sure that you look inside, look around, and beyond each of the unknown word or phrases that you find to try to help figure out its meaning. At this time, please go ahead and read The Treasure by Mabel Astor. Now, realistically, I don't believe that you just read it that quickly, but I hope that you took time to pause the video so that you could practice on your own, because a good reader is someone who practices every day. But if not, I'm here to help you read along The Treasure by Mabel Astor, where it says number 1. That's where we're going to start. Setting. Iris and Gus, her younger brother, stand in the forest. Iris holds up a map. Iris, studying the map. We're supposed to turn left up here by that big tree. Gus, who's nervous. But it's getting dark, and Mom told us to be back for dinner. Iris says, annoyed. Seriously, Gus, we're searching for buried treasure. The world won't end if we get home a little late. Number 5, Gus, nodding his head. Yeah, I guess you're right, hesitantly. But Iris, that's more like it. Let's get going. We can't let Victor and Elsa beat us. They start walking. A sudden breeze whips the map from Iris's hand. Iris, oh no, the map! A huge wind gust whisks the map into a tree. Gus, now what are we going to do? Iris, I guess one of us is going to have to climb up there. Gus, but I'm afraid of heights. Iris, shivering. I am too, but do you think I'm going to let that stop us? We're so close. She takes a deep breath and starts climbing. Gus, look, it's, points to a gold coin in the dirt under the tree. So we're going to stop right there. And if you go ahead, we now have a new graphic organizer on our other page that's very similar to the one that we did with Edmund yesterday. Once again, it breaks down our traits and then the different details from, this time, from a drama. And remember, we learned the word drama yesterday, meaning that it is a play. If you go back up here and look at our story, we can tell that it's from a play because in the brackets, it tells us different things like what is the setting, How are they moving? Where at number 2 it says Iris is studying the map. So it tells us exactly what the characters are doing. It even tells us how they say it. If you look at number 3 where it says Gus, nervous, or number 4, Iris, annoyed. So we can tell that this is a play, also known as a drama, because of all of the different stage directions that the text is providing for us. I want to just check for some understanding real quick and see if you all really understood the story that we just read. What do Gus and Iris hope the map will lead them to? Yes, if you said buried treasure, you are absolutely correct. That is what Gus and Iris are hoping to find. At first, Gus wants to go home for dinner. How does Iris feel about that? Take some time and look back into the text,
Good
please.
morning, everyone. If you are a paraprofessional and you are in the building, please come to Mr. Pratt's office at this time. Again, if you're a paraprofessional and you're in the building, please come to Mr. Pratt's office. Thank you.
Wonderful. Iris wants to keep going. We can see that in the text when she doesn't want to give up, and even when she's about to climb the tree that she's afraid of, because she says, we're so close. Do you think I'm going to let that stop us? And then our very last question, just to make sure that everyone understood what they read. How do Gus and Iris respond to the map flying up into the tree? You are absolutely correct, especially if you said that both are afraid to climb the tree to get the map. But then Iris begins to climb. That's going to tell us a little bit about her character traits, as we're going to see in a little bit. So let's flip back over to that graphic organizer that you all have. As we see here, part of it is completed while other sections are left out. Don't worry, we're about to do this together. The very first word that we see is the word competitive. It's been provided in the chart for us as our first character trait to describe Iris. That word means either trying to win, trying to beat others, or trying to do better than others. I'm going to go back and look into the drama to see if I can find different words and actions that can be evidence to prove that Iris is competitive. If we go look back up in our drama at line 6, right next to where it says Iris, it says, we can't let Victor and Elsa beat us. Those words right there show us that Iris is competitive. So in our chart, we're going to write those words in next to where it says competitive. We're going to put, we can't let Victor and Elsa beat us. The reason that we're doing this is because this provides evidence from our text or from our drama that prove that Iris is competitive. Now let's keep reading to figure out what the next detail in our chart shows us about Iris's character traits. The very next line says, Iris shivers when she thinks about climbing the tree. So she shivers both when she sees the tree as well as when she's thinking about climbing the tree. So we want to think about what character trait could that be describing? Our key word here is that Iris is shivering. So let's go look back up at our drama up here. So at line 12, it says, Iris shivering. I am too. But do you think I'm going to let that stop us? We're so close. So they've just realized that their map has flown up into a tree and they have to climb it. Gus says that he's afraid of heights and Iris agrees while she is shivering. So what could that tell us about Iris? I put on my paper that I believe because Iris is shivering, as well as with what she said in the text, I believe that Iris is fearful. So in that empty box under the word competitive in the traits column, I'm going to write the word fearful. So now Ms. Felix and I have helped to guide you all through the first 2 traits, as well as the details from the drama in this graphic organizer. We would like for you all to take the remainder of this time to figure out the word determine. What details from the drama, what thoughts, what feelings, what words, what actions can prove that Iris is determined. After you figure that out, your last clue is the detail from the drama that says, oh no, the map. There are exclamation marks behind both of those statements. So go look back in the text and figure out where that is and figure out what trait could be used to describe Iris. Your goal today is to be able to describe all characters as well as their traits and the different details from the drama that can prove that they have each of those different traits. When you are done doing this, feel free to look back at this video for the answers.
Felix?
Yes.
Hey, Miss Jones, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
These are the answers you will be looking for. We hope you all have a wonderful day. Have a great one.
Because he's not able